Welcome to Invest. We'll talk about investing, finance, and professional development. So it's a Friday today. I'm like about an hour away from my next meeting. So typically just want to like catch up with you guys, also to check on how you guys are doing. I know the market has been kind of crazy, but in addition to obviously talk about finance and investing and all the like the number stuff, right? I think it's also important to talk about some other aspects of life as well, right? And as you know, I hit the milestone of 31. On May 3rd. So my birthday was 3 days ago, and this is something I've been talking about or reflecting on for quite some time. Is that you know me and you know my work cadence and I guess my personality is like I'm a really type A individual. I typically would work hard to the bone. I don't know if that make any sense, but work until I am exhausted to the point that when my body tells me to do so, that my mind will tell me to like, okay, maybe Maurice, you need to cool back down and cool off, right? And I've been thinking like, why am I the way I am, right? Why do I act the way that I have been? Is it because like I just work hard because of I want to prove a point to people? Is it because of survival, or what is it? And I realize that it's just it's a couple of different things, right? And apologies if it's not structural, right? I think it's kind of come down to a couple of things, right? One, I guess naturally I'm not that smart, right? And for me, I always felt like I have that imposter syndrome um, to make up for the lack thereof that I have, right? And when I was like working on Wall Street for I would say the last 8 years, this is something I still feel today. Like I don't feel like I'm always like the smartest person in the room. I always feel like I need to like make up for it, and always like having to like exceed expectations because of my upbringing. That's why I guess like me, part of my rationale of empowering underdog is because I am truly one. And the I guess my career, how I got to where I am today, is really just a couple of different elements. Like with respect to bulkily hard work, I would say it's not because of my wits, my intelligence, or my pedigree at all. It's just because I've been working hard to overcompensate. So I think that's number one, right? And respect to like point number two, I guess like part of me, and this is just a natural thing, right? People want to feel some sense of importance. They want to accomplish things in life. So I do like the feeling of like being well accomplished and having accolades to show for. And that's just me, I think it makes sense. It's natural. I'm not saying like I try to show off like or like flex on people, but it feels good to be doing something that's impactful. And also like I guess the rationale is because when I'm doing something impactful, it also at the same time makes up for the my upbringing, right? My parents have sacrificed a lot, so for them to I guess like intrinsically took a bet on me onto allowing me to be in US, and also me subsequently propel and get ahead to become where I am today, has always been something that I wanted my parents to feel internally. So I guess like that's like also another internal, I guess gloat factor, if you may, if that makes any sense. And so with these two factors, like I've always been trying to like pull myself together, like very much like a machine, very structural, and because of the fact that like I mentioned, I'm not that smart, try to overcompensate. I failed to like diversify my energy and my time management in a way that's a little bit more of a equalized type of fashion, right? I felt like the last 10 or 8 years so far has been just very one-sided, right? Onto being very tactical all the time, execution driven, just getting the things done, right? Which I surprisingly have been good at it, right? But at the same time, I always feel like I've kind of missed out on some of the interesting elements in life, right? like with respect to like going on dates or maybe going out more, travel more, maybe spend more time with my friends instead of just like working to the way that I am, which sometimes can feel, lonely, which, makes sense, right? Especially if you are trying to be an entrepreneur and at the same time, because the job on Wall Street it's like you work with a lot of people, you engage with a lot of people, but you always feel very lonely most of the time because it's a very it's like kind of a competitive environment where you don't really have full trust with the people that you work alongside with, but you obviously have to deal with the politics side of the things, right? To it's just part of the game, what I'm trying to say. And why am I saying all of this, right? And to your surprise, like you probably don't know any of this. I've never told anybody about this at all. Before all of this, right? Like before like me working hard, I become like a type A and like a straight A student. I was actually a really bad student back in the day, right? I think back in Hong Kong, a long time ago, right, 8 years ago, I was I was engaged once. Yeah, I don't know. I've never ever told anybody this. I mean, like, I never really publicly told or announced to people, right? But I was like in love with this girl. Her name I'm not gonna say her name, but her initials is CO. Let's just put it that way. And I was like completely, felt head to toe. I don't know if that's the right word, but I was completely like blown away by how much I like her. And what is it that is about her that I like? I don't know. Is it love, or is it because I like her a lot, or is it because like I find her to be just like beautiful? Is it lust? I don't know, right? But I just felt like I had that internal it factor that really attracted me to her, right? And I was like this young stupid kid, right? Trying to do whatever it takes to to get to know her. I would like wait for her after school, like kind of like a stalker too. Like I was like pretty bad with social dynamics and social skills at all, and definitely have no game at all. And but to my surprise, like I was able to subsequently get to know her a little bit more, and she realized that I'm not that much of a total weirdo or like a creep, if you may. And eventually we are started dating after like 2 months of me, I guess, pursuing her. And I also realized that like she was intrigued because she asked about me, with my group of friends back in Hong Kong as well. So I realized that okay, she's interested, and then subsequently progressed into I guess having a relationship, if you may. And then we kind of dated until I would say for like 6 7 months, and it was to the point that it didn't take me like a long time to realize that, oh wow, I loved her. Like I don't know if I really do, right, till this day. Like, but I think at that time I did. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like very abstract feeling. It's like I don't know why I did, because like I realized that if I reflect back in my life, like, was it a good compatible relationship that we had? Was it a good timing? Right? Did I like, even though like I was like working at McDonald's, I was saving up, right? What did it make sense to like give up everything to like just like get her a ring and propose to her? And to my surprise, I actually did that. I went to like a local store, like a department store similar to like a J.C. Penney or like Macy's, if you're from America. And I actually bought her a ring. Like that was like, it was like a really poorly cut diamond. It was like probably, if you translate it, like maybe $450 US dollar for a diamond engagement ring. Obviously, it's like a really cheap one, and that's like the amount that I could afford with the McDonald's salary that I was having that time. And I proposed to her, right? And to my surprise, she was actually moving. I realized that she was like an expat, and her family was like in Hong Kong, not for a long time, and she basically had to like move to Germany. By the time I proposed to her, and I was surprised and also like angry, but I still tried to do it, right? in despite like her moving, it's gonna be a long distance relationship, right? So she held on to the rain, but she didn't say yes, but she didn't say no either. But we try to make it work, right? And then obviously I help her move and everything, like pack up her bag, and next thing you know, she moved on, right? And that was like 7, 8 months in, right? And apologies if I'm telling the story really terribly. It's like it's been a while, but so after all of that happened, right? Like we try to make it work for like 3 months, but obviously with the time zone difference and like talking on the phone and also like on teleconference, it's not the way it works. It doesn't work that way, right? And eventually she just kind of had to pull the plug, right? And it didn't work out, and we stopped talking to each other ever since. And then it's weird that by the time I was like about 17, and this is also before I knew about me moving to the United States, is she reached out on Facebook, right? And she was like, "Hey, I am I'm back in Hong Kong. Want to catch up, right?" And to my surprise, I was like, "Should I be like, reaching back? Like, should I respond, or should I like at all try to talk, like try to rekindle the conversation at all, or try to reconnect at all?" And I did. I actually said, yeah, let's meet up for coffee or for sushi or whatever. But for some reason, despite it was only like a separation of like a year and a half between her leaving for Germany and coming back, and she came back for college because it was like also the right timing. And this is also before I moved to the U.S. I met up with her like, and the feeling was not there anymore for some reason. I don't know why that is. Like maybe I was maybe something like physically has been altered in my body that changed the way my body functioned. That when I saw her, when I was meeting her, I didn't get that that butterfly in your stomach type of effect anymore. I just I don't know why, right? And ever since that point, I try to make it work again. Like maybe I was off that day, like I didn't know what was happening. Maybe she was like I just my body chemistry was different. But then I tried again and I try again. I still never felt the same way towards her anymore. And then realized just like we stopped talking to each other, and then couple months later, my parents told me about the situation, and that's how I was able to move across the United States, subsequently leaving Hong Kong for good, right? And ever since then, I guess I completely just think about relationship differently, and also as I got annihilated on that side of the balance, I just channel all my energy into working really hard. Onto pursuing a career to support my family. So it's not like a very really exciting story. I get it. It shows a little bit of a juxtaposition compared to when I was really young to how I become what I am today. And part of me is like try to find that again. Like I want to feel or find that butterfly feeling like the way I had when I was a kid all over again. Until this day, I'm still exploring that. Maybe I just haven't found the one, right? Maybe I just like the last thing I want is to like have my career as just like be my sole purpose in life. I need to be more diversified and more balanced. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, so it's not meant to be a very exciting story, and apologies if I'm not the best storyteller either. It's also like I try to find the pieces of the puzzle that I was missing. I probably left a lot out, but yeah, I just want to share my feelings. It's also for an opportunity for us to catch up as well. But have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.